Dead Gamer here. This is a video response to Vince Venturella's topic of the week. It's how do you feel about basing? And first of all, I'd like to apologize. This Gray Baby. Boom! Gray Baby. Apologize because I haven't done anything in the past couple of weeks, actually. I've been on a big reconductor job, so haven't been home. And I'm home now, so got a lot of YouTube to catch up on. And I went out and bought a few paints, so I'm very excited about that because I haven't been painting anything forever. Actually, I don't really paint, so I bought some of the nihilic oxide and some lamium media. I know that's not really a paint, that's like a clear thing. Ryza Rust and Agrax Earthshade. So I got like 4 things I don't really can do anything with right now, but that's okay because it's a start. Because eventually my Great Unclean one that I haven't touched in over a month now that I bought, and he needs to be finished, and I bought some paint, just 4 bottles, but I'm gonna try to get this actually done because someone called me out on it, and I agree. I am kind of a big pussy in terms of getting stuff done, so I'm gonna try, Doom. I'm gonna try. Anyway, how do I feel about basing to Vince Venturella? Which is kind of interesting because believe I've talked about this before in a previous video, where I don't feel very comfortable. So Vince, first and foremost, if you haven't, I'm sure you've seen Vince's video because you wouldn't be watching my video unless you're watching Vince's video, and this is my cat's tail that's constantly cha cha cha. So sorry, I'm drinking wine, I'm happy, I'm home, it's nice to be home, my cat misses me, please excuse what's going on right now. So Vince talks about, yeah, you wouldn't be watching this video unless you watched it through Vince's. So, he talks about, like, I don't know what world you live in if, 99.9% of the time your army lives in a case, and then when you put it on the field, your bases wouldn't match anyway. And which is interesting because that's a world that I would like to live in. The reality is as busy as I am as an adult, I guess, if you want to call me an adult, the people I have that come over and play usually use my stuff, and which is a whole different thing, right? Because I think Vince has a bunch of friends who come over, or he goes over to their houses and he plays games with them with their stuff and their terrain, whereas I feel like I'm more of a provider, like an overall provider of everything, and that sort of puts me in a different predicament, right? Because I feel like, yeah, all my stuff has to match because it's always going to be on my tables, and I don't play tournaments, I don't really have that desire. I like to make stories, and I mean, the reason I got into Age of Sigmar, well, for one, was fantasy was always interesting to me, but I didn't like the blocks, and I was always a Mordheim player. I never was not a Mordheim player, and I didn't mind square bases, I just didn't like blocks of units of troops, which is why I played 40k. But, and fantasy just had no attraction to me whatsoever. Mordheim came out in, I think, 96, 97, something like that. Maybe 98. No, it's probably 96, I think. And I was all about it because it was an excuse to buy fantasy figures and finally start playing fantasy, but not have everything in blocks. But I'm going on a tangent. It's probably because I'm drunk. But whatever. So, and my cat's on my lap again. Boom! Gray Baby. Boom! Gray Baby. So, that said, oh, and I'm using my old computer too because Gray Baby jumped on my computer screen while the laptop was closed, and she cracked it. So I've got a new one coming in the mail, a new computer screen. I took the screws out, I figured out the little code on the back, and I ordered just the screen. But that's another story. So this is going to be a long video. I'm sorry, we're 5 minutes into it, and I still haven't talked about Vince's topic of the week. So let's kick it off at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. This is a video response to Vince Venturella's topic of the week. How do you feel about basing? I don't know, man. I mean, witch elves for you, because you do all the different bases, I think would be, I mean, the way I picture the witch elves are, at least on the little teaser video they put out, was that they're kind of living in caves, but because they're elves, they're pretentious caves. So there's probably like some fancy stuff going on. You know, it's not like Skaven or Dwarf caves, it's like fancy caves. Maybe the witch elves have like dwarven slaves, but they're not slaves, but they're slaves. They just don't want to say that because they're being politically correct. But Marathi probably wouldn't care, so maybe they are slaves. But yeah, I think witch elves live in pretentious caves. And so whatever you think pretentious caves would look like, you know, would probably be the best way to go, because that's where they've been kind of cooped up. Yeah, so for me, in terms of my contribution to you, witch elves, that's what I would do for your basing. For me in particular, about how do I feel, I got a post-it right here, so that's why I'm looking up there. And I got a post-it right there and a post-it right there. So I've got a couple of topics I want to talk about. So I'm guessing this video is probably going to be about 20 minutes. I'm going to take another sip of wine in my classy Golden Nugget Reno, Nevada glass. Yep, champagne in a mug. Fancy. So, how do I feel in particular, personally, about basing? Well, once I get off my ass and actually start painting, and don't just buy like the cheater paints, which are these, because it seems like everyone can make stuff look nice with these cheater paints. And yeah, I want all my bases to look the same. I want across all my armies. My idea is I want all my bases to look the same. And what does that look like? I want an earthy overall feel. I think just crumbled, you know, dirt, a little bit of grass, and then rubble. I think the rubble would dictate more or less their natural habitat. So wood elves would have a little more foliage and like trunks, tree branches, and things like that. Nothing really stony. And, you know, Tomb Kings would have more of a dead grass. And I would definitely go with a neutral ground. That's obviously, Vince, I hopefully covered your stuff. This is just me in particular. Yeah, I would do just a neutral ground, and I think that's, you know, when I eventually get around to getting over the fear of this stupidity that I have about painting models. I think initially my first, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm stressing myself out, because I'm like, why did I buy these paints when I should be focusing on the bases? Because the bases are going to tell the story of all my armies, which is really kind of crazy. But yeah, welcome to my world. It's a crazy, crazy world. But yeah, I'm happy I'm home. I'm super happy I'm home. But I got a couple of post-its. I'm going to read some of them. So this one says, the miniature lives in the world you place it on. That was something Vince said. So Vince, you mentioned that the miniature lives in the world you place it on. And I think in my situation, because most of my friends play with my stuff, I want to create a world. And which is why all my stuff, at least I feel, should be the same. And it's crazy because it's like, I know the Age of Sigmar, we have all these realms and people are jumping in and out of these warp gate things, realm gates, stargates, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, it's but like for me, I want everything to sort of exist harmoniously. So when it's on the table, it looks like it belongs there. And you know, I've always thought about that with my terrain, and you know, it's just been something that like I want it to all coexist, and I think that's important to me in particular because I collect a wide variety of range of models, and people use my stuff. People don't bring their own stuff over. And I mean, in all honesty, so let me kind of explain this too, is that, you know, most of my friends all have kids now, and just don't have the time or the interest in the hobby to collect and paint stuff anymore. Why am I doing that with a question? But I don't know. I do that sometimes. Trying to get over that. That's a bad habit. Ending a sentence with a question, sounding like a question. So, yeah, I just, my friends, they love playing games. They got out of it after high school or college or whatever. They've done other things in their lives, sold their stuff, or their parents got rid of their stuff, or whatever the case may be. They still enjoy playing it, and they enjoy coming out and kind of bullshitting with me and rolling dice, which is kind of what this whole thing is for me. It's just a chance to catch up with my friends and roll some dice and bullshit. I have no real strategic, tactical, you know, whatever. So, that's why I play Beastman. But, yeah, I just, boom. That's my army, by the way. I love Beastmen. They're rad. Hooves of Doom! Hooves of Doom! Wow. This video is going to be incredible. So, for me, bases, it's all about uniformity within all my armies. Vince, you've got your lava bases, you've got your ice bases, and to me, it would just be, that would hurt my soul. Because I just wouldn't know how to explain that. Because I don't know how I'd put lava and ice on the same base. Because that's what I'd have to do. But, so I'm going to get rid of this post-it. Boom. The next one is Tell a Story and Mismatched Bases. My minis are in a box, not a case. Oh, there you go. So, sorry, I was reading out loud. So you also talked about, you know, you display your miniatures in a case, and when you look at the case and the army, you feel like, you know, that's my army, this is their environment, that's complete. And then you look at the next army and you say this is their environment and that's complete. I don't store my miniatures in cases, or in cases. I store them in boxes. Well, I did store them in boxes until they all burned up, but then I'm slowly starting to put them in boxes again, right? So, yeah, I don't ever get a chance to look at them, and maybe that's another reason that I don't paint my stuff. This feels like a therapeutical session there, yeah, where I'm figuring stuff out by just talking about it. Maybe that's why I don't paint, because I don't ever look at my stuff. Huh. Well, anyway. Doom! I am working on this guy, though. But, you know, it would be pretty sick to make him into a bong. I'm not gonna lie. That would be awesome. Because He's slightly, anyway, chamber-like. So, gray baby. Sorry. Wow. Yeah, I told you it was going to be 20 minutes, and we're at 15 and a half. So I don't know. I don't know, Vince, if you've even listened this long, and I just feel like, you know, 6 days into your topic of the week. Tomorrow you're going to be putting out a new one, so maybe you'll listen to this, maybe you won't. But that's how I feel about basing. I mean, in all honesty, I think you should do sort of like, I don't even know the word I used earlier. It was a pretty good word. Something about elves being pretentious. Pretentious caves for the elves. That's the kind of basing I'd do for them. Me personally, though, I want to base all my stuff for all my armies in somewhat of a familiar environment. Obviously, give or take, you'd leave things out. Ruins for some things, foliage for others, more dead stuff for others, because that's, I guess I see it as they encroach on the battlefield, you know, like undead. They encroach on the battlefield, things are going to die around them because they just have this aura, and you know, whereas like the Sylvaneth stuff would bring things to life, so things would just kind of grow and be like more like in your face and alive. And you know, even like the what are they? Beast Claw Raiders. Wow, try to say that when you're buzzing. Beast Claw Raiders. I'm not a big fan of the snow idea. Like, I get that they bring the snow, but it's just weird, you know? But when I was going through their book, I was kind of happy that they were showing some pictures of, like, Beast Claw Raiders in, like, lava environments, and there not being snow, because that made me feel more comfortable. It made me feel like, okay, I can do these guys without snow. But, I don't know. I still see them as ogres. You know, ogre kingdoms. And that's another thing. We're going off topic, so if you want to stop this video right now at 18 minutes almost, you can, because I'm going to go off topic. It's not about bases anymore. It's about Warhammer Fantasy Battle. And I loved the look of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. And I always bought their stuff in terms of, like, there were models that came out, and I was like, I cannot not have this model. I just couldn't play that army because of the brick thing, which I didn't understand. But yeah, a lot of my stuff, I think when I end up doing it all and painting it all, I'm going to keep it very traditional. I'm going to keep it very Warhammer Fantasy Battle. I'm not going to go with the Age of Sigmar theme. And I even think that in the future, if there ever is a future where I decide to do like videos and stuff, I'm going to do more of a Warhammer Fantasy old worldy kind of approach to my stuff. You know, I know a lot of the stuff that White Dwarf puts out and all those things that are very like kind of out of this worldy, still using the same kits and things, but it just kind of gets a little crazy. Like the stuff that they do looks a little out of the norm, I guess, although we're playing with little army men, so everything's out of the norm. But yeah, I don't know, I like that old world. I like the castle feel and look. I like that whole environment. So yeah, my stuff's gonna definitely kind of cater towards all that. And that's the nice thing about Age of Sigmar as well, for those people that are naysayers and don't want to subscribe to Age of Sigmar. It's like, well, you got so many planes and realms and all that, you can definitely justify where your environment is. and that environment would be in an old worldy kind of look, because that definitely could exist in this crazy world. It's not even a world, it's a galaxy or a solar system. I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you, but yeah. So that's it, man. Vince, topic of the week, 20 minutes 30 seconds. Doom, I bought 4 cheater paints. You're welcome. And yeah, I'm thinking in the next probably 2 or 3 weeks, when work slows down and I get a chance to finish this guy, I'm gonna take you up on that whole calling me out thing, because one thing I don't like is people calling me out on shit. So this little bastard's gonna get handled with some cheater paints. Boom. And I'm taking your advice, and I'm just gonna throw some paint on them. And the worst case scenario, I just fucking hate the thing, and I throw them on eBay, and I say, there you go. Some little kid who's got a rich parent is gonna let his son or daughter buy the model, and I can just go out and buy another one. I can't replace the cheater paint cost. That's gonna come out of my own pocket. But the model, hopefully I'll do it I think it's $140 justice. Something like that. But anyway, until then, Dead Gamer, Vince Venturella, Doom and Darkness. That's it. Sorry for the old video, or the old camera too, because my damn cat. My screen should be coming soon, so we'll be back in the mix. Thank you.